She's April.
And she's Molly.
And we are
the Book Besties.
I'm not going to go jump in a hot mosh pit with my stomach full of dairy.
You know what? Fuck you and your medical profession.
We're metaphorically buying the cookie.
Anyone else hear circus music, or is it just me?
In Serenity, for example, in Firefly.
I mean, is Justin Bieber still doing things?
It is a theater kid's wet dream, guys.
She was like Leah Michelle, but likable.
I'm back, bitches!
That was a lot.
I'm a lot. I miss you!
Yeah, I 2 weeks without you, Molly. Like,
fuck.
I can't.
And it's been more, though. It's been more because I've been sick, then you've been sick. It's been 2 weeks in pod time, but it has been a lot longer in real time.
IRL.
IRL.
Yeah, you had the flu, and now I am
battling the same flu. Somehow.
Yeah, I have the flu too. So I'm over it now, but still kind of like scratchy voice and not feeling the best and weak and whatever. But
exhausted, body aches and
but I no longer shivering.
Hate life. Yeah.
So.
And no fevers. So there's a start.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still. This is nasty and TMI, but I'm like still like I have all the like snot, just all of it. It is.
Yeah, I do too. It's been very delightful.
It's beautiful, and I'm so glad the whole continent is dealing with it right now because everybody and their brother has a variation of this right now.
Well, I have only had the flu like one other time my entire life. Ever.
Really?
Ever. Like as a kid, maybe I had the flu, or maybe I just had like, normal colds or whatever. But like at least as an adult, I've only had the flu once. And that was actually when I was pregnant with James. And so I was not thinking I would get the flu, even though James had it first and Sam had, it went James, then Tom, then Sam. And then like a full week after James came down with the flu, I have the flu.
Seriously. I really did not think you were going to get it. I didn't really either. Thought like we went down one by one though. Like,
and I love Katie, but when I texted you guys and said, I'm pretty sure I have the flu, Katie's like, I was waiting for this. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you and your medical profession.
Knowledge.
And how you know medical things better than us and how you have like 45 million degrees because you're like way smarter than me.
Whatever. We're mad at her right now because she's holding out on us. She has a super secret squirrel recipe she's not sharing with us.
She has a recipe for something that tastes like peanut butter squares that I grew up eating in school in our cafeteria. They were like the only thing worth eating.
And she's withholding.
Yeah.
And she's withholding. So we're not
to be fair, I didn't ask her for the recipe. I asked her for her to make them for me.
Oh, I 100% asked for the recipe. And she shut me down straight up.
Well,
and when I say we're not talking to her, I literally mean we are not talking to her right now because we're fucking filming.
For the hour that we're filming.
Even then, it might be a text pause.
No, I turned my phone on Do Not Disturb. So.
Oh, me too. Mine's in the other room. It's charging. So this week, my God, what a great way to come back.
Wait, before we do that, I really fucking missed you last week.
I missed you
too. Did you?
Chessie!
Did you listen to the episode or watch the episode?
Oh my God, I did.
I fucking missed you, Molly, but that is one of my favorite episodes that we've had. Oh my gosh.
Just listening to the way she talks about book writing and the process and how she sees it and how she breaks that book down. If you have not listened to that episode, last week's episode, I'm going to put it in the notes. But it is so good. Francesca Zappia has just this brilliant mind.
She does.
We are so lucky to have Chessie as a bestie.
Yeah. And
Bestie Chessie.
And that book is one that she and I just both love. And so like being able to talk about it like that with someone was really great. And then after the pod episode was over, we're having her on next year, everybody. She's going to come on and promote this. This is her newest book, Gray Mist Fair, which doesn't come out until March. But she sent Molly and I ARCs. And
the best part.
And she autographed them. And where the fuck's the autograph page?
I'm looking. I got it. No, I don't fuck around. Chessie, where'd you do it? There it is. It's on the very front. I'm an asshole.
Okay.
Boom.
It says, from your honorary book bestie. Look at that shit. It says to April. She personalized it to me.
Mine too.
And
I love her.
Anyway, so she is going to come back next season. After the episode was over, she and I sat around and talked for a little bit longer and confirmed.
I love her.
She is good. Oh, I just kicked my camera. She is going to come on next season, the week before Gray Mist Fair actually comes out. So
exciting.
Yeah.
This book is so amazing.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so what we're here to talk about. Sorry, I interrupted you.
What a great way for us to be back together.
I know.
Oh my God. When You Get the Chance by Emma Lord. What a...
This book is sunshine and rainbows.
It is. Okay. It's my tagline for the episode. It is a theater kid's wet dream, guys. This is a
theater kid's wet dream.
Mm-hmm. It is everything you've ever dreamed of in your life as a theater kid. In your little small town, you're like, I wish I lived in New York. This is what it would be. This is exactly what it would be.
Yes.
You ever go, I wish I lived in New York City and was a famous Broadway star. Boom.
Yes.
Should get you there. Anyways, so where did my
synopsis?
My synopsis is AWOL.
What?
I just have questions.
You didn't write a synopsis?
Oh no, I fucking wrote a synopsis. I don't know how I fucking deleted it. Welcome back to Molly. You're screwing shit up.
I don't really.
Did anybody expect less? I mean, no.
I mean, I've been spending a week doing nothing but watching Gilmore Girls.
Oh my God, I'm just going to read it from here. Synopsis. Millie Price is anything but an ordinary, and she knows it. With Broadway dreams in her heart, she has gotten into a pristine pre-college program for high school seniors who are going into theater. The one problem is her father, Cooper, doesn't want her to go. So what does this Broadway baby do? She Mamma Mia's herself into finding her mom. The problem is, just like in Mamma Mia, 3 possible candidates. So let's talk about this fun, joyful Broadway kid's wet dream of a book and dive into a Millie Mia. And please do not blame us when you're singing Mamma Mia after this episode. Oh boy. So, oh my goodness, this book, huh? Okay, it's been a while since we've dived into a sugary, just saccharine, dripping rom-com like this.
Yes.
Novels. What did you think of Emma Lord and her writing style to start?
I liked this book. I did buy a copy of the book, but I actually listened to the audiobook. I thought the narrator was really good.
Super cute. I love the narrator.
I thought the writing fit the story. Like, we've read other books where I'm like, this is just not, this doesn't nonsense. Fit. Like, It doesn't fit. I thought it was really good. It is very sweet, sugary,
saccharine.
It's also very Gen Z.
It's very Gen Z.
There's so much in it that's Gen Z, and
which I have a sub question about that actually.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, so she definitely wrote this for generation of kids that grew up with Gen X millennial parents.
Oh,
the music in the live journal is just peak 2000s.
Yes.
Did you like this touch?
Well, I think it made a YA novel accessible to those of us that, are millennials, right. Gen Xers.
Yeah.
I had a live journal. That's hilarious to me. I love it.
I couldn't remember the login when they first pulled it up. I was like, do I know the login for my live journal? No, I don't. I absolutely don't.
I don't even remember anything about it other than that I had one at one point. But yeah, like a lot of this is like a nod to millennials raising Gen Zers. But you know what's really interesting about that? And you can attest to this. Well, your kids are Gen Alpha like mine are, but
well, they're on the border.
Yeah.
Because Piper's 09, so it's like right there on the line.
Oh, okay. Well, last year,
the ZA.
Last year when I was at the middle school and we had a dance, a winter formal dance, and they were playing like 2000s pop music.
I love it. And all the kids
they played Backstreet Boys and everybody was singing along to I Want It That Way. And I like talked to the DJ after and I was like, how do these kids know this music? He's like, their parents. And I'm like, oh fuck, that's true. That's true. Yeah. We do that. We share that with them. It's like why I grew up knowing classic rock because my dad was a classic rock fan.
I mean, I know every word to Elvis. That's because my Aunt Pam was obsessed with Elvis, right? We absorbed what we're like. The only thing that was missing from this like millennial time capsule for us was MySpace.
Yeah.
MySpace, right?
But technically MySpace still exists.
Right. It's just not like our generation's just no longer
Nobody's using MySpace anymore, but it still exists.
No. I mean, unless you're like an elder millennial who's still like really heavy into the emo scene, like and heavy, like the emo scene's still real heavy on there, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm still into the emo scene, but
not MySpace heavy.
No, I just like the videos on Instagram that are like when your emo side comes out and they like play songs from like early 2000s.
Ting, ting,
yes,
ting, and everybody
you drop that first chord in Black Parade,
and you're like black eyeliner comes back on.
Instantly, hair is like swooped in front of my face, and
Mom, you just don't get me. It was never a phase, Mom. I got your picture.
I was a grown ass adult when emo like became a thing because I was already a teacher. I would like go to these emo concerts. Like Tampa has a great music scene, a fantastic music scene, and a lot of the emo bands. That was one of the places they were coming out of. And so I'd be like, dancing, jumping around, listening to the music, and like people would be crowd surfing, and I'd be like, oh, that's one of my students. I'd be like, aren't you my teacher? Yeah, hi.
You shouldn't be drinking. And I know
I never caught any of them drinking, but I did catch some of them smoking.
A lot of weed. Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt the weed.
Oh, they were smoking cloves, but they were fucking smoking weed.
It's a clove cigarette. Yeah, no, it's not. I know. Oh, bless you. Goodness.
I'm okay.
So, New York as our stage. Cliche or perfect because of the book?
Perfect for this book. And I know you have a big deal with like New York being a cliche, and that's probably just because you're from, New York.
It's just every upstate. Time my beef with New York as a setting is every young ingenue that pops out of a rom-com is instantly in New York City. And she's just trying to find her way and find love. And it's just the same cookie cutter format. This was different. This was unique.
I actually really liked the aspect of this that she had Broadway ambitions, but she was actually going to go to a school in California. So I think a lot of people don't realize that, like, yes, Broadway is the musical theater pinnacle, but it's not the only place where you can be trained for musical theater. It's not the only place that puts on, original shows. So LA does have a large Broadway. Well, you wouldn't call it Broadway, I guess, because it's not Broadway, but
musical theater
scene. They really do.
So does LA. So does Chicago.
Right.
And
London is huge.
Doesn't Berlin have a really big one?
I don't know. The last and only time I was in Berlin, it was just all about leather and pornography.
Oh, fun.
Germans are very like open about their sexuality, and they think Americans are repressed and we need more leather.
A little bit. I mean, We're a little repressed. We can't even say the word sex without somebody blushing or turning red in a large group, of adults. So,
I mean, I don't know. Do you really want to be like the Germans? Like,
I don't want to be like the Germans, but I think, like, as Americans, we can calm the fuck down a little bit. In general, like, we're like me.
I actually...
without Ritalin all the time. We're always high anxiety for no fucking reason.
Yeah,
like,
but
America's exhausting.
But I don't think that we're as repressed as we used to be. I think social media and the access of the internet and the fact that
100%.
right now, like, the books that are selling the most
are sex
books. They're books about, they're women's porn. They're lady porn. Which, by the way, I'm really going to need us to bring those back because I miss my romance novels. We are having one next month, but I miss my romance novels.
I know. All
right, this was a cutesy romance novel. This wasn't
this was definitely YA romance. Yeah. Millie is a big personality.
Yes.
From the jump, we see why people call her a lot. As a person defined by this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It's not an insult, right? It's just a definition. But we can see that Millie also has her own struggles. Mm-hmm. Her Millie moods, finding her identity, which she changes her clothes constantly in her style because she just is trying to avoid this viral video that she feels she just can't shake. Yeah. This thing that has defined her.
Reminds me of that movie, A Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff.
I didn't watch that one.
Oh, her best friend, like, he's an actor and he just tries all these different styles. He basically is a different character every day. It's really annoying. Funny.
So let's talk about this complex character and how this whole story revolves around her.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Millie? Like, as a main character to start?
She was like Leah Michelle, but likable.
Yes. A talented Leah Michelle.
But likable.
And I mean, she wasn't a stick either, right? Like, and she has her flaws, and she even openly admits that at times she struggles with her talent because she doesn't feel like she's good enough.
Yeah.
And I think part of her lost identity is because she doesn't know where half of herself has come from,
Right.
So,
yeah, I like her as a main character for this kind of story. Mm-hmm. I don't find this story believable.
No.
At all.
No. It's a fictitious world. And
I really struggle with the fact that there was a huge, massive plot hole in this book.
Oh, really?
Yes, the plot hole is that her best friend finds all of the girls, all of the potential moms, on Facebook, and they're all mutual friends with her dad, and yet somehow they don't know who she is. You're telling me that they've never seen a picture of her on Facebook?
Maybe maybe Millie, after that whole video thing, won't let her post her on social media.
Well, that's interesting you would say that, Molly, except that towards the end of the book, she specifically says that her dad doesn't post on Facebook a lot, except that he shares the pictures of the two of them that her aunt posts.
So yeah, you're right. That is a huge plot hole.
And despite the fact that this does have a huge plot hole, I still gave this 4 stars. I really liked it.
But plot hole.
The plot hole, without plot hole, it would have gotten 4.5 stars.
It's just, I mean, it is a big...
I like Millie. I like the Millie moods. I don't always like the way that the Millie moods are over-described. That's very YA.
Yeah.
And we've just been reading, like, there was a time that all I was reading was YA, but we've been reading so many books that are, like, adult, and so...
genres, absolutely.
Like, you come off of a week of reading Station 11 to this, it's just, like, a hard transition, you know?
Jinx.
And, well, look, if you jinx me, we're not going to have a fucking podcast, so just knock that shit out.
April.
And, like, next week's book is also YA and has some things where I'm like, okay, well, this is very clearly in that genre.
Oh, my God. I am struggling with next week's book. But we'll talk about that.
Let's talk about that later.
We'll talk about that next week.
But I did like her as a character. I like her. I couldn't stop picturing Leah Michele. Like, that was all I could see.
Oh, I was picking more of young America Ferrera.
She's not Latino.
No, but for some reason, that's the body type and the body frame, and that's who I was picturing.
No.
My brain instantly went to, like, Plus Size Girls. What was the HBO movie she first started with? Oh, Jesus. I'll find it.
I don't know.
And I'll put it in the comments. Anyways.
Something about real women having curves.
Real women have curves. Real women have curves. That's it.
No, I mean, maybe not Leah Michele, but maybe Rachel Berry.
Yeah.
But, Rachel Berry was based on Leah Michele.
Right.
The fact that Rachel isn't always likable is because Leah Michele isn't always likable. And I feel like that's Millie.
Valid. Yeah.
That's Millie. I love that she went to this, like, Fame high school, It
makes it more fantasy, right?
Yes. I'm annoyed by the fact that Oliver never confessed that his brother's song that's called Love at First Spite was about her. Like,
I know.
100% convinced that song is about her.
As soon as that song started playing, I go, that is 100% about Millie.
Yeah.
And 100% about Millie.
And I'm like, okay, come on.
Right. We're just like, you're beating a dead horse at this point. We get it.
Right.
They dig each other.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our dad. Cooper Price is the exact opposite of his vibrant daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he completely gets her. He is imminent about her not going to this pre-college program. He is not having it, right?
Yeah.
What do you think his motives are? Do you think his actions were for Millie or for himself?
I would say for himself. Do you want your kid to go to school across the country when they're 17 years old? No.
If it's better for them.
No, it wasn't better for them. It wasn't better for Millie. I understand that the pre-college was a rigorous program and that, it was prestigious, but what would have been better for her is her auditioning in the city that she was in, putting little Joe behind her and doing the work. People that are going to go to the pre-college, she won't. So I don't know why she thought it would be better for her if she went there.
Yeah, I don't either.
Have been.
Like, it honestly, it wouldn't have. But she thought new city, new start, right?
But it wasn't going to be that because her end goal was ultimately to be on Broadway. So
and I mean, the internet's forever. The internet is forever.
Yeah.
So,
and I 100% do not believe that. Fuck! I just forgot her name.
Millie?
No.
The aunt?
No, actual actress.
Leah Michele.
No. Molly, stop guessing.
Well, I'm trying to think
of Foster. I 100% believe that Sutton Foster would not share a video of somebody that she didn't think was talented.
1,000,000%.
So the fact that got shared like that, I think Millie was being harder on herself than anyone else was being on her.
100%. Millie was just beating herself up, right?
Well, she was a middle schooler. She's not going to have the vocal control of an adult.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not going to. You hear, like, those kids, like, there's that, I don't know what the fuck the children's choir is called, but there's, like, that children's choir that does all these, like, pop covers. So they are very talented, right? Some of that is mixing when they're filming, but their voices are not mature. They're still children.
They're in puberty too. Like,
right. The way you sing as an adolescent is not the way you sing when you are performing vocally. You can use Taylor Swift as an example. Taylor Swift did not have the best vocals when she was 16, 15 and starting out. To be fair, she took some vocal lessons so that she could do
better.
There was some movie, maybe Les Mis. She was trying to be in Les Mis or something. I don't know. But she took vocal lessons. And she's gotten a lot better. But again, that is a development of a voice. She's an adult now. She's in her 30s. So
I was thinking, who was that kid that was really popular in the country circuit who went through puberty and, like, lost everything?
I don't listen to country music.
It was in the early 2000s. If I remember it, I'll put it in the comments. But he was like, he had this beautiful, pristine voice, and then he just lost it.
I mean, is Justin Bieber still doing things?
Yeah, he still can sing.
Does he still sound like he did when he was 9?
Kind of, but I think that's mixing.
Do you know that there are something like 35 people credited for writing his song, Baby?
Yeah. Like, if you
Molly,
go into, like,
do you know what the lyrics of that song are?
Baby,
baby,
oh, baby, baby, oh, my baby.
35 people did not need to write that. That's, no, why the fuck? Why the
Money.
fuck?
Money. Money.
This is why I don't listen to pop music.
Money.
I think that what has happened to my brain on the flu is that I cannot complete a thought. So
I can never complete
I don't even remember what your fucking question was.
Okay, we're going to go to the next one anyways.
Sounds good. Did I answer that one?
Yes. Millie runs around New York in her aunt's Heather's boots. But she is constantly turning to her for advice and a milkshake. But Millie doesn't realize till it's too late that her actions are upsetting Heather. What do you think about the relationship and how the author used this book to move the story forward?
I don't know that I agree with you. That her actions were upsetting Heather. I think
that whole fight on the stairs was about how Heather was upset that Millie was trying to find her mom and ignoring Heather.
No, I think she was upset because I think it wasn't just at Millie. I think she was upset that Cooper let it go on for that long, that he wasn't honest, that now Millie was doing something desperate, and that it was all going to come crashing down and everybody was going to get hurt.
Oh, I thought of it more of like, I've been your mom for all these years.
No, I don't think that.
Why didn't you feel comfortable coming to me and asking me for help?
No.
That's how it felt to me.
Well, that's interesting that we have different interpretations on it, because I don't think she really cared that she was going to lose her fill-in mom status. I think it was more about not wanting to hurt her brother.
I honestly feel like it's more of a, this hurt my feelings. Mm-hmm. I also raised you. I am not just a side thing. Mm-hmm. I am also a grown-up in your life that cares about you and loves you very much. And
I just didn't see it like that.
Okay.
But
that's okay.
I do want to comment on her going around in Heather's boots.
Oh, yeah.
So that is 100% a comfort thing for her, right? So she tries on a different, like, outfit every day, right? So she's never being, like, she doesn't have a specific style. 1 week she's emo, and 1 week she's this, and 1 week she's that. But the thing that's consistent in her life is Heather's boots.
And Heather is...
And they're not even Millie's boots.
No. But Heather's the consistency in her life, right?
Yeah.
Heather's the consistency. Heather always has a milkshake. Heather always has an advice. And Heather's boots will always be waiting at the front door for her.
Right.
And it really shows who Heather is to her in her life. Heather is her mom.
Well,
it's not...
I honestly kind of feel like Heather is more like a mom to Cooper. I think she's protective of Cooper.
Well, I mean, she had to. Their parents just ditched them, right?
Right, but that's Cooper what I mean. Like, I feel like
something.
Like, I feel like her being upset with Millie wasn't about feeling like Millie was going to abandon her. I think it was about her going to abandon Cooper.
I can see your side. I can understand that. It definitely can be interpreted both ways, I feel like. I do.
Okay.
That's my line.
No, I mean, I don't know.
It was a joke, baby. I'm sorry. I know you're on
Can I take a nap?
Cold meds.
Can I
We're
take
almost
a nap
done.
now?
We're almost done. Ish.
We're not even close to done. We're like 20 minutes in.
I got 6. Okay. Millie and her moms. Okay?
Yeah.
Each were brought into her life for different reasons.
Yeah.
The author made that pretty clear.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Steph first.
Okay.
So I have a few things. I think Steph was brought into her life to remind her to never stop dreaming. To remind her to grind. To remind her that you have to work to pursue your dream.
Yes.
How did you feel about Steph? What did you think of her as a mom?
She was my favorite of the three. Moms? She was my favorite of the three. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she was the most like Millie, and so she's the one that like I wanted to root for, but I kind of figured out the twist.
Oh yeah, I did too. And
I guessed the twist like from jump, but she's the one I wanted. Right. And like Mamma Mia, you know, one of the guys in Mamma Mia ends up can't be the dad because he's not straight, right? So yeah. Anyway, like that's her for me, even though she's not the lesbian of the three.
Steph, I mean, Steph technically is related to her. Yes. So, I mean, she was close, right? With Steph. Right. Just not close enough. So
how is her dad Facebook friends with Steph? And when they have that conversation that's like, I don't know a Steph that could potentially be your mom. And he's not like putting two and two together that like, okay. Oh.
Do you remember when in the early 2000s and everybody was just accepting random Facebook requests because they were friends of friends?
No.
Okay, well that was happening a lot. So maybe he just okay, well a lot of people did. So it was probably a friend of a friend and one of them went add friend and neither of them thought about it. Well, that's my assumption.
I personally think it's pretty shitty that Steph was friends with him on Facebook.
Or maybe that Steph has been checking on him for
and that's what I think the shitty part is. Georgie didn't want to know. She didn't want to know.
And it was Steph's job to know, and Steph just didn't. So maybe it's Steph's fault. Maybe it's Steph's fault. No,
I don't think Steph was supposed to know. See, these are the plot holes I'm talking about.
There are. Okay, next I want to talk about Farrah. Farrah was the dance
Terrible
teacher.
Name. Nobody names their kid Farrah anymore.
Well, she's our age, so...
Who named kids our age Farrah? No.
I don't know, but I will look on the census and see if it was popular.
Farrah is like from the 60s when Farrah Fawcett was popular.
I bet you it's in the top 100 for between 1983 and 1979.
I doubt it.
I'm going to find out. And you'll know in the comments, gang. Farrah was there, in my opinion, to teach Millie about enjoying it, right? Farrah was there to remind Millie that this is fun. That's the whole point of theater, right? That it's fun. And Farrah was there to remind her to fucking relax and enjoy it.
Was Farrah the dance teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would say that your comment is more relevant to Beth.
Really? Mm-hmm. I think Beth was more of this is how family acts. This is your family. These are your people. Beth was a fate thing. Beth was needed for her dad. The only reason Beth was in there was because it was for Cooper. That was the author's intention, in my opinion.
Well, I do think that she was in there for Cooper, but I also think that like she made Millie find Broadway to be fun and not as serious. Like we can just enjoy it. We don't have to be the lead.
It can be silly and goofy and like
we don't have to be starring in Wicked. Like we can just go see Wicked.
Right. But Beth was more of a being a fan, right? But
right, that's what I mean.
Beth also brought her Chloe, right? Mm-hmm. Beth made her a big sister, even though she wasn't a big sister. We'll talk about that. So I want to talk about Millie's boys next. Okay.
Millie's boys. Well, hang on. Let's go back to Farrah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were done with Farrah. Sorry.
I didn't tell you what I thought of her. I told you what I didn't think of her.
Okay, I apologize.
How am I doing better today than you? And I'm the one that's on drugs.
I'm always on drugs. No.
No, that's true. That's true, you are.
I'm always on some sort of meds. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, for me, Farrah was the character that you could just remove from the story.
Oh, I felt like that was Chloe.
Oh, it's 100% Chloe. But I mean of the three moms.
Oh.
Like she's the one that I was like, it's not her. From jump, I was like, nope.
I knew it wasn't Beth. I
didn't think it was Beth either because I thought that whole I could be a big sister thing was just such drama.
Well, and the Southern Belle bullshit with Beth having the Southern accent and it didn't
and nothing in the book makes it sound like she should have a Southern accent.
No, like it just
none of it. I think that was a narrator choice.
None of it really fit, and I just I don't know. I liked Beth for Cooper. That's the only reason. Only reason.
Also, just as a side note here, Cooper got around in his early 20s.
Cooper was a man whore, homie.
So we thought there was potential for 3 moms, but that means he also slept with cousins. Like, he slept with Steph and her cousin.
Maybe he didn't know they were cousins.
They did that now. No. That last name is not like Brown. It's not like you could be like 2 people with last name Johnson.
Probably better across the hall.
2 people with the last name Johnson. Like, you would probably be like, they might not be related. Right, exactly.
But we are! There is a possibility! We are!
My grandmother was adopted by Johnsons, so technically I have Johnsons on both sides of my family. So it's a common name, okay? But their last name was not common, and she lived across the fucking hall. You telling me he never met her cousin? That, like, no.
That's probably how he met Steph.
It's so annoying. Wait a minute. Maybe he didn't. Oh, wait a minute.
There you go.
Wait a minute.
We're mathing here. Hold on, gang.
Maybe he didn't actually know Steph because that was just the last name that popped up when
he was, yeah.
Yeah. Because Georgie changed her last name. She changed her name. Yeah. Okay. Well, he didn't sleep with cousins then. All right. Cooper is redeemed.
Yay! We're back.
Still a plot hole about the Facebook thing. It still bothers me.
Word. So Millie's boys. Are you ready to talk about them?
Yes, but I don't know who we're talking about. Wait, Teddy and Oliver? Okay, I got it.
Teddy and Oliver.
I'm back now.
First,
I'm back!
I'm back, bitches! Teddy is not just her best friend. He's practically her brother. They have been side by since the day he was 2 days old.
Yeah.
At times, she forgets about him and his life. Do you think she's a good friend to him?
I do. I think they're good friends for each other. I think they're what each other needs. Absolutely. She travels all over the city doing the things that he needs her to do. He listens to Broadway music that he doesn't want to listen to, but he does it. I think they're good together, and I'm very happy that they weren't each other's love interests, that it wasn't like...
High fives to that! You know how I love that! Boy best friends, that's all I'm asking for, authors. Boy best friends, it is a real thing.
Right. So, anyway, I liked that. I didn't think he needed to date whatever the fuck her name was.
Chloe.
And Chloe...
I have beef with that. And
Chloe's... Fuck, I can't talk. Chloe's story that she's like somehow the girl that he also liked on the app thing is just exactly. It's the
bullshit flag gang for those not watching.
That's for those who are listening. I'll just give you one of these.
It's bullshit gang.
You know what's funny, Molly? I couldn't find my bell before this episode started, and you were like, "Oh, we won't need it for this episode."
And all we've done is ring it. We're fucking assholes.
We needed the bell, Molly.
We needed the bell.
This is a book that needs a bell.
I feel like there's a balance between Millie and Teddy, but I with this book we're not getting the full picture. Mm-hmm. So I feel like sometimes it's more Millie forward than their relationship should be. But as a person that's in a relationship with an like you and me, extrovert, introvert. Yes. My husband and I, extrovert, introvert. Yes. Sometimes from the outside, it looks like it's the extrovert is the primary focus in the relationship. Mm-hmm. But unless you know that relationship forward and backwards, you're not going to know that there is an equal bond, right?
Yeah.
So
I do think that sometimes you get in those relationships, extrovert, introvert, and the extrovert does take over. I do think that happens. That does not happen in our relationship because I won't let you.
Absolutely not.
I feel like
and let's not lie. I sometimes need you to remind me because I am a space cadet.
Yeah, but you remind me to do things to include myself more too. I mean,
right.
I don't know, but I think I don't know. The geocaching thing, like, are people really that obsessed with geocaching? I don't know. Yes. I know, like, one person that does geocaching. She's pretty obsessed.
Houston has a huge scene for it.
Really?
Yeah. Mm. There's Facebook groups, apps, it's a whole thing.
My assistant from last year in the library where I worked, I don't know if she's still listening to the podcast. If you are, hi, friend.
Hi.
I'm not going to say her name because if she is, I don't want to,
embarrass her.
Yeah. Right. But she's big into geocaching. They like go on geocaching trips. But I didn't realize like young people did that. Like I thought it was more like an adult thing.
Yeah, no. Kids love it. Kids love it. They just need a grown up. And I don't want a grown up and do that, like. So we've talked about Teddy. Let's talk about Oliver.
I love Oliver.
From the beginning of this book, we're going to get a Grumpy Sunshine trope with Oliver and Millie.
Grumpy Sunshine. I love a Grumpy Sunshine.
Oh, you live a Grumpy Sunshine.
I do. That is my life. Grumpy Sunshine.
Grumpy Sunshine. They are, in Millie's words,
spoiler alert, they remain grumpy. Just because you fall in love with them doesn't make them any less grumpy. They remain grumpy.
They just enjoy your sunshine.
Exactly.
Less of other people.
They're less grumpy to you, but they're still grumpy.
You just got to learn to manage it.
Right.
Their story twists and intertwines so much. Okay. So there's a couple things I want to talk about, but let's start with the internship. Mm-hmm. Or I want to start before that. Okay. How Millie and Oliver know each other. Millie and Oliver know each other from the first day of school, practically, for them.
From internship, or from orientation before they even started school.
Yeah. He recognized her.
Right.
And she freaked out.
But he didn't recognize her for what she thought he recognized her for.
Right. And so she freaked out. Mm-hmm. And she instantly was like, okay, I got to keep this guy on at the corner of my eye. Yeah. He's going to be a problem.
We're going to be frenemies which is so cliche.
And she thought he was always going against her. But then, come to find out, he has been busting his ass to make her life worth living for the last 4 years. So everything Oliver's done is for Millie.
Right.
And Millie has had no clue.
Right.
What do you think of this?
I mean, it's really cliche, but I love Grumpy Sunshine, so I don't care.
I know you do.
I knew that from jump that Oliver had feelings for her. I knew that it was all a facade and that it was Millie being Millie and not realizing all these things that he was doing for her. It was, that's the classic Grumpy Sunshine. So an adult version of Grumpy Sunshine that we read this year, but last season would be, Molly, I'm so tired. Allie Hazelwood, Adam Carlson, and what the fuck's the book called?
Love Hypothesis.
Love Hypothesis, thank you. So Adam Carlson was doing all of these things for her. And she just didn't know that he was actually making ways for her and doing things to because he loved her. And that's what Oliver was doing here. He knew he was on, and the fucking cookie in his phone. That's not because he saw her at the cookie place. It's not that.
No.
She's a cookie. She's sweet, and he wants to take a bite.
She's saccharine. She's just sugary, and she's delicious. She's adorable. She's cute. You want to buy her. She's got shelf appeal, you know?
Yeah, we don't buy people, Molly.
I know we don't buy people. Not literally, metaphorically. We're metaphorically buying the cookie. I want everybody to know that I am not buying people. I did think I would have to say this on this podcast. I don't literally buy. It was a bad metaphor, gang. I'm so sorry.
We should not sick and pod.
No, but you know what? It'll be entertaining. Let's talk about his brother's band.
Will it though, or will it just be entertaining for us?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. Oh, we gotta go in order.
What the fuck was your question?
The internship. I want to talk about the internship next. So
say that word again. Try again.
Internship.
There you go.
So
you got it.
Millie goes to Georgie's office.
Yes.
Trying to find Steph. When she gets there, Oliver's there.
Yeah.
And Millie doesn't back down, so one thing leads to another, and now she's in a competition for an internship against him that she didn't know about till that moment she walked in.
She didn't know the internship existed or any of it, yeah.
So, what did you think of all of this part of the story? Did you like the internship? Did you like the competition between them?
It's the close proximity cliche. So
right,
we've already
it's not a bed.
Right, we've already right. There's not one bed. We're certain, but it's close proximity because
it is.
We have the grumpy sunshine. We know that he likes her. I mean, we don't know, but we know. We know.
I mean, it's obvious,
right? And so you've got to have the close proximity because otherwise, like, what are they going to do that would have gotten them? Yeah, what would have gotten them close together this summer?
Right.
So
So
I find it really fucking unbelievable that Oliver didn't know that her aunt owned the milkshake club.
Yeah, that feels really unbelievable.
You're telling me they never had a cast party there? Yeah, exactly.
Bullshit flag. So let's talk about his brother's band. As Millie and Oliver become friendly,
yes,
she kind of nudges the booker at the milkshake club.
Right.
And gets his brother's band booked.
Right.
And that's his goal, right? He wants to help his brothers make it big, help their band stay unique and original, and that's why he wants the internship.
Right.
What did you think of the brothers and the band and all of that?
Cliche.
I mean, it was cute.
It was cliche.
The music.
It was cute.
I
like that they're doing, like, songs that have, like, titles of emo, like the emo bands and, like, the mid 2000s would do, like, like, for example, Fall Out Boy, the titles of their songs never had any fucking thing to do with the lyrics of the songs. It was just like the lawyers made us do this. Like, like, that's literally a song by them. Like, it's nonsense. And it's the same thing with, like, Panic at the Disco, like, nonsense things.
Chime in with the haven't you people ever heard
Stop
of?
it. That song is called I Write Sins, Not Tragedies.
I know! It's so weird and I love it!
I love it too. Panic is one of my favorites. So I liked that. I liked that they sang about Taco Bell and, like, it was just such nonsense and so funny.
Cute. And each brother is uniquely different.
Yeah.
And it just, again, sugar.
I may really need to detox from Gilmore Girls because this entire episode I've been like, oh, that's like Luke. Oh, that's like Hep Alien. I'm only doing it in my head. I'm not doing it out loud.
Oh my God, but does that not feel like a sugary, big city Gilmore Girls vibe, though?
Yes.
I mean, okay. So let's jump into question 7.
Okay.
Do you think Chloe's storyline is necessary in this book?
No.
I mean, she does date the bestie and eventually becomes sister to Millie.
No.
But is this character necessary?
No. And I didn't like, that was the one voice that I didn't really like the way the narrator did it. She did it too young. She did it too young.
It just felt, she was supposed to be a grade younger than them and she sounded like a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
All whiny and shit. It was not necessary.
I didn't like it. And no, I don't think she is important to the story.
Like, I don't think it is.
You remove her from the story and you still have the same story.
I mean, the only thing. And
I said at the beginning, or at some point in this episode, that it was really not believable that she's the girl that Teddy has the cyber crush on either.
Well, and
all the people in the app, all the people in New York City, that one girl. Okay, that was too loud for a sore throat. Okay, you take over now and you take a drink.
It's just, I don't know, like, yes. Did Teddy need somebody because he was lonely? Yes. Did it have to be the possible, maybe almost sister? No.
Why did he need somebody?
I don't know.
He didn't need anyone. There was no need for a second relationship.
Well, he's always saying how lonely and sad he is, you know?
Motherfucking everybody ended up in a relationship by the end of this. So It was Teddy and Chloe, Beth and Cooper, Heather and Farrah. Millie and Oliver. The only people that didn't end up with somebody were Steph and Georgie. It's like a Shakespearean comedy. Everyone gets married in the end. No one got married, but you know what I mean.
Close to fucking enough. I know what you mean. So let's talk about the Milkshake Club.
You know that actually is a Shakespearean comedy. That's a requirement. Every single Shakespearean comedy ends with most of the people getting married.
Right.
Every single Shakespearean tragedy ends with someone dying.
Oh yeah, I took Shakespeare.
And even the dark comedies, people still get married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's got a format.
Yeah.
He knows what he was doing.
It was a very clear script, but it was working.
It was. I mean, he made enough money to survive on it.
Yeah. But I still don't believe that would be the thing we would cling to at the apocalypse. I don't still maintain that.
I have beef with that. I was definitely talking to you and Chessie. Like, my back and hips have been fucked up since the weather came in. And I popped a 10 milli vanilli gummy of yumminess and sat down on the couch to watch y'all. And let me tell y'all, these bitches did not respond back. Can you believe that? The rudeness of them.
I'm sorry.
I am a part of this podcast. The audacity.
You are a huge part of this podcast.
Go watch it on YouTube and talk to them. You'll feel better, guys.
Or don't, because that's weird.
No, it's not. It's fine. So let's talk about the Milkshake Club.
Okay.
I've talked about this in the past. We've seen it before with integral parts of the story. Like, i.e., for example, Serenity and Firefly in the Madison House and Discovery of Witches. Mm. Is the Milkshake Club a character?
No.
I don't think so either.
And the reason I feel that way is because the character setting in this is New York itself.
Yes. Yes. The living, breathing character location is New York.
It's New York City.
Mm-hmm. It is New York City. If the Milkshake Club, like, say, in Serenity, for example, in Firefly, Serenity is the home, right? It is where everything happens, just about. It is their transportation, and it is
And she's life. A leaf on the wind.
Don't make me cry.
I'm sorry. Wash is my favorite, too.
Wash is my favorite. But it doesn't, we don't get that, this is so stupid, that vibe. Mm-mm. We don't get
I also Madison do not believe that this club is like the new CBGBs. No way.
No.
You serve milkshakes. Unless you're putting rum in them. Nope. This is not where rock and roll is going to be born.
Mm. It was cute. I like the idea. But a place where teenagers and everybody at night can just, it doesn't make sense.
No.
I'm not going to go jump in a hot mosh pit with my stomach full of dairy.
No.
That's
good advice for everyone.
That is
solid advice for everyone there.
Do not drink milkshakes before you go jump in a mosh pit.
Don't milk. Vomit. Don't milk and mosh.
You will vomit all over everyone. There are two scenes.
Anyone else hear circus music, or is it just me?
Oh my god, she's getting punchy. I gotta wrap up. There's two scenes in this book that I think shape it and help the story move forward immensely. Everything that happens at her surprise birthday party and the scene where she and her father find each other near the water after she discovers who her mother really is. Were there any moments?
No, I don't believe that either. They just found each other there. No.
Maybe it's a place they go all the time. I don't know. Is there any moments in the book you felt helped shape it and move the story forward?
Her finding out that Cooper called and turned down her spot.
What a fucked up minute. Yeah. Poor Millie.
Yeah.
And Georgie was so compassionate in that moment.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And
just write it down. I also really liked the scene in which she's having her internship, like, debriefing with Georgie. Mm-hmm. And Georgie's like, you're not going to that school. And when she said that, like, I had suspected,
that was a mom.
I had suspected the whole time that she was Millie's mom. But when she said that, I was like, yeah, that's a mom moment right there.
Mm-hmm.
And
it is.
And you're not going to that school. Like, it wasn't just, this was not up for discussion. That is not a good school for you. So those two scenes for me.
Manager and mom in like 30 seconds. She saw Millie's talent. She saw what she was. She was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
That is going to fuck your life up.
Destroy you. Right.
Yes. Right. So since we're talking about Millie major spoilers, gang. We find out the agent that she was interning for is her mom.
In case you didn't catch that the other 50 times we've said that this episode.
Come to find out, Georgie was her dad's Teddy. Grew up Teddy's parents bought that apartment from Georgie's family.
Right.
Millie discovers this Millie discovers it by accident, right?
Yeah.
Did you see it coming? Was it it resolve the way you expected it to? How did you feel about how all this major part of the story played out?
I think it was a necessary climax to their story.
Yeah.
Her standing in her apartment. It was very...
holding the dry cleaning.
It was very Meryl Streep in Devil Wears Prada.
Oh my God, yes.
It was very much the walls are down. I'm vulnerable. I can't fix this. You've broken me.
Right. I can't believe you're here right now. Why the fuck are you the person here?
Right.
I don't need you.
Right. And then I don't really believe that they ended up just everything sunshine and rainbows and they have this great relationship 10 months later.
That takes too much. Unless they are in intense family therapy, yeah. I highly doubt it.
And I don't think just for Millie, I feel for her, for Georgie, you made a choice. You left. And as much as you maybe regret that sometimes, you don't get to just move back in. You don't. And I don't feel like Millie really needed her. Cooper gave her the opportunity to here's your mom. I can tell you who she is, but she didn't want it. She was maybe some other time, Right. I do think it's really shitty. It's not because she left her daughter. If you feel you cannot care for your child and you give your child to someone who can care for your child, you have made a very brave decision. Very. And I support that. I don't support the fact that her dad kept all this from her. I feel they needed to have a conversation, which was your mom loved you a lot, and that's why she couldn't keep you.
It's fucking Parent Trap.
It wasn't going to work. Right.
You have a twin. Right. Didn't mean to not tell you.
This wasn't going to fit for her. She didn't feel she was good at it. And she did try for a while to get communication, but it was too hard. It was too hard. But he never, her never even knowing her mom's name. I just don't find that very believable.
Well, I wonder if he was I know my daughter, she's going to go try to find her.
I don't know. I know people who never met one of their parents, but they still knew their name.
I feel it was it was Cooper protecting his best friend, not Cooper being a dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it does make sense that they were friends, that in his live journal he says, what the hell is wrong with me? Why did I do that? Why did I sleep with her? Because that's not the relationship they had. That's the relationship that's not the relationship they had. They had a friendship, and him sleeping with her was drunken stupidness.
Yeah. And it hurt. And it hurt both of them, and it destroyed them, and it ruined their friendship.
Right.
And but isn't that is just exactly how it happens, though. Mm-hmm. It is exactly how that kind of thing happens. Two friends who love each other dearly, who have had a lifelong connection, get super hammered, hook up, have a kid, and all of a sudden everything's broken. How many times have we heard that story?
We've heard that story, but my argument is that we don't need that story. And you and I both talk about how it's nice to have stories where the friend is just the friend.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen all the time that a male and a female who are friends, they fuck each other. That doesn't always happen.
I lost my train of thought. Right. But it's just, it's real, but it wasn't necessary.
Mm-mm. No.
So let's talk about the end of this book.
Okay.
You know how I feel about fast forward in marriage.
Yeah.
But this time I was okay with it because it was cutesy and it finished the sugar off, right?
Right.
We have this grand adventure for the Beth and Cooper, and then they meet them at Washington Park, and this beautiful marriage proposal's waiting for them. What did you think of the ending?
Again, cliche, but I did like it. I thought from jump that when Beth and Cooper reconnected, like that was it. They were going to get married.
Yeah. Oh, they're MFEO for sure.
Yeah. I'm really glad, and I know this isn't your question, but I'm really glad Millie ended up staying in New York. That she made the choice to not try to go to California to the pre-college, that she was going to stay in New York and she was going to be Oliver's girlfriend and Cooper's daughter and get to know Georgie and, be a high school senior.
Because that's what she needed, honestly.
And start becoming her own person and auditioning again.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's true. I'm glad too. I lost my train of thought. I'll just jump into the next question because I don't know where I was going to go next. I apologize.
No idea. That's okay.
I don't either.
I promise next episode will be better.
We both will be. We're getting there. Guys, we got to get our feeding. Does this book have a potential for a sequel or to be picked up?
No, I think it's done. Like, I'm not saying it won't get picked up for something. Like, Netflix
It's a Times bestseller. I would be
Netflix
surprised.
Is making, like, a whole bunch of those, like, mini-series. Yeah. Based on YA books, and those are doing really well. So I can see them, like, picking this up for that. But
this could definitely be a small Hulu series or something little.
But I don't think it should get a sequel. Like, I think the story's done. Like, I don't need to know what happens to Millie after. I'm tie the bow, done.
We know she'll be famous one day. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Final question, April Goodreads.
I gave it a 4 out of 5. Thoughts? Okay. I gave it a 4 out of 5, and despite the fact that I did a lot of bell ringing and complaining about the cliches and the plot holes that really bugged me, I did enjoy this book.
I loved this book.
I did enjoy it. And it's so funny to me, Molly, because I don't often talk about our podcast at work because, number one, I'm some people's boss, and like I don't really like to, I don't want to be like, hey, here's my personal life on a platter. Like, I won't be Facebook friends with you, but here's my podcast.
Right.
So I actually, one of my staff, she is a very avid reader and reads super fast like Katie does. And she has a theater background, like went to school for theater. And so I was like, you really need to read this book. And she read it faster than I did and loved it. Loved it.
Well, it's just
like, I wasn't quite finished with it when I told her to read it, and she was loving it and she loved it.
If I have a friend that goes, I need a book that's joyful, fun, I'm going to give them this. I'm going to tell them to read this. Because that's exactly what this is, right?
Right.
This book is fun and joyful. And yes, we were hypercritical, but we're always hypercritical.
We always are. And that's the thing. Like, if you listen to the first season of this podcast, when we were not really at our best, like, we've definitely
we weren't even ready. We didn't know where we were, though.
No,
guys. Like, we're still figuring it out.
We've gotten better as the seasons have gone on. But
I mean, this is not a great example of it. We've been having a day.
But the books we were reviewing in season 1 versus where we are now, we read so much more that we're critical of books that other people wouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like, we're not sugarcoating things at all anymore because we have developed an audience. We developed a voice.
What they want. We know what you want, the truth.
And we read so much that we can't avoid the honesty because if we
I can't sugarcoat it. I've never been able to sugarcoat it, though. So
right, but I feel like we also tiptoed around each other's feelings in the early season too. Like we didn't want to tell each other like your favorite.
We didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Right, your favorite book was not for me. My favorite book was not for you. But we didn't want to say those words. Like, we didn't want to be like, I fucking hate this book, which I know you hated my favorite book. I know you hated it.
I just don't ever want to have to read To Kill a Mockingbird again, please.
Well, you don't have to.
I love it for you.
It's an odd choice to be my favorite book. Let's be honest.
I agree. So next week
we are reading this book, Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. And the
cover's gorgeous.
This is a re-release cover. This is the epicreads.com cover. And I'm this far. And I've been that far for like 2 weeks because
I'm like on chapter 2.
I haven't really been reading because I've been sick. But anyway, I love this book. Lauren Oliver, I've read 5 of her books.
Damn.
And they're narrated the audiobooks are narrated by Sarah Drew.
I love
who
Sarah
plays
Drew.
April Kepner on Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's adjacent.
And I love Sarah Drew. I loved her when she was on Everwood, and I loved her on Grey's, and I've liked her on so many things, and so her voice is like the perfect voice for this. But that's what we're gonna read next week. And this week, check social media because we will release the December titles, and we're almost wrapped up with the season. We just got a few books left and we're done.
Another season in the books, gang. We're taking a nap for 2 weeks.
We will. We're gonna hibernate.
We are. That's how the Book Besties that's how we regenerate.
That's how we recharge for the next season.
We bury ourselves in soil like a turtle, and we just pop back out when the time is right.
Start visiting our website too if you haven't already done that, because we do release the titles there as well. And you can leave us comments on the website. Like you can comment on the episode.
I might have some surprises popping up on there soon, and some other things that we might have surprises on Instagram about soon. Stay active on our social media, guys. You never know what's coming.
This is going to be a surprise for me because I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. So it's a surprise to me too.
Yay, April! Surprises! You know this surprise. You just are sick.
That's probably true. We have season 4 mapped out, and so we'll start releasing that in December. We'll start releasing.
And don't forget to always email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com, and you can always send us your suggestions.
Yeah, and
till next time, gang.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Love you, April.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of Molly and April and not those of anyone else. Today's book was When You Get the Chance by Emma Lord. Your Book Besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins. Editing by Thomas Watkins. Music is Sleep Sweetly by Brigida. Don't forget to follow the Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you'd like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com or go to our website at www.bookbestiespodcast.com.